All right. Ooh. Straighter line. Did we get it? Did we get it? I think we got it.
Oh!
Wow.
Well, not bad. Not bad.
That is really
right?
good right there. Hey, welcome to another episode of Yes Golf Club Reviews. Hey, as we are starting off this new year, 2025, we have these SRIXON irons that we're going to be testing. This is a golf store that's located in La Habra, California. My name is Kevin. I'm one of the fitters here, and we have...
I'm Jay, also a fitter here at Yes Golf.
Yeah, and we're delighted to share with you the new line of ZXi irons from SRIXON.
Yes.
And Jay, just give me a couple of your thoughts. What's the reputation of SRIXON irons?
So SRIXON is Japanese based, so they are known for the forging process. The feel that they bring in their irons are just as the golden standard of what Japanese forging would be. Yeah, and they don't break the bank, and that I think is also an important part.
Yes.
So it's very affordable.
Yeah.
But you get that premium forged feeling.
Yeah.
I think it's the best.
Which is a very rare combination to find, right?
Exactly,
these days in
right.
anything, right? The
Yeah.
value and premium feel. And when we talk about the feel of irons, and that's always, SRIXON always focuses on the feel of their irons. They don't talk about forgiveness, even though they're forgiving. You know, they don't talk about distance, even though they give a lot of distance. Their main focus has always been best feeling iron. Last year, there was the ZX7 Mark II irons.
Mark II irons, right?
And this year is ZXi7.
Yes.
So what does that I stand for?
So the I is for impact forging.
Okay.
So that is their process. So they kind of changed their process in how they forge the materials that go into the irons, and now they're added the I for impact forging.
Yeah.
Right?
So Jay and I have two contrasting thought behind the naming of the irons. We'll get to that a little later, but we'll go ahead and give it a hit and see what is different and what kind of players should be looking into the ZXi7 irons. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
Just on the heel.
Just off the heel, okay?
Yeah, just a little on the heel.
We are hitting the greens about 160 yards right now. And you said, you mentioned that it looks great at address.
Yes, it does.
I think if you think about the SRIXON Tour players, right? Like Brooks Koepka, Shane Lowry. They play these irons.
They do.
And what's really interesting about the ZXi7 irons is that it is a little thicker up at the top compared to like some of the other brands' players irons, right? So that does usually two things, I think. People usually kind of go away from the thicker top, the better players, or it gives them confidence, right? So that could be which effect does it have on you?
So I like the fact that the blade isn't too big. It's definitely more compact than more game improvement irons, and the offset is very minimal. I would say it's almost closer to a muscle back, if anything. Yes, and the top line is actually a little thicker, which that combination is kind of hard to find. I think the footprint being smaller, but the top line being just a little thicker. So I think it would attract a lot of better players to give that added forgiveness with the thicker top line. But it's not thick. It's not crazy thick. It's just a sliver more that just gives you a little bit of more confidence.
You're right. And if you actually flip it around and look at the sole of the club, it's very slim.
It is.
And you know, I know you are a big fan of their sole, so just tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, the VT sole, this I think was probably one of the best things that any iron could have.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know this because I was one of the original users way back in the 2010s when they first came out with irons when they introduced it into the US. And I played that for the longest time. But the soles, these VT soles, it gives you so much confidence in the turf interaction. The turf interaction is second to none. Like you have no worry that it's gonna snag or it's gonna dig. It just gives you that smoothness right off the grass.
So the VT sole, for those of you who's just looking at this in the image, it's basically, it's like two-sided sole, double sole, or you can call it, where it's very thin in the face, the leading edge, and it's there's a trailing edge, and it's all comes down to this one pointy section in the middle. So it almost like works as a, just like you said, it gives a very good gliding effect on the grass.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and give it another hit.
Yep.
Oh, that's the SRIXON sound that I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
Jay is
so
a little
good.
speechless, but we do need to talk because it's a review video. But
it's so good.
I think just for me, when I've tested it, it's more muted than
it's
any
more
other
muted, yes.
irons. And usually people say sound equals feel. And that's why, and more muted a sound is off the club face, it's definitely a better feeling for a lot of people. So is that what you're feeling?
Yeah, so definitely. The softness is always been, I think, the SRIXON trademark, but I think it's even more softer than compared to last year's MK2.
Yeah.
And I believe that there's a good reason for that, right?
Yeah, and then also, one of the reasons you mentioned is the pure frame and the advancement there. ZX7 Mark II irons also had the pure frame, which is it's an area in the back of the impact position, right?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of pinched out. In the Mark II, if you look at it, it's kind of like the VT sole on the back of its head, right? It's kind of pinched out.
Little bump.
But this one, if you look at it, the back of the face has a more larger, more beefier, almost like area in the back, which is supposed to give you more ball speed, right? And also a little bit larger sweet spot, so more forgiveness. And that allows for them to use a softer material this year around. So it's S15C carbon steel, which is one of the most pure, softest iron metal you can find.
Yeah. So that's the reasoning behind why it's feeling more softer.
Yeah, if you're a numbers guy, they say it's 7% softer
7%.
than last year.
Yep.
That is hard to tell.
It is, but you can notice it. Yeah. If you do a side-by-side comparison, you can definitely notice it.
That's good. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the naming of this. The ZXi7 irons.
Right.
I thought, because of the improvement of the pure frame, and I feel like it's just a better feeling iron from last year. And I don't say that to diminish last year's, because last year's iron, the Mark II, was already top of the line when it comes to feel. But this is so much better in the feeling department that I feel like they should have gone with a new naming of it, like ZI7 or something that kind of makes the I in the impact forging even more pronounced. But you had a different thought.
Yeah,
right?
so I honestly believe that they did a banger with the ZX series when it first came out. Yeah, last year was Mark II. The year before that was so-called Mark I. But the whole lineup was just so good. And I don't really think that there was much that they could improve on. I'm pretty sure if you've seen a Mark II, you probably didn't think that there was much improvement on Mark I.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much the same, because the whole build, the footprint on how it looks, the VT sole, the whole package was already such a great deal that I don't really think that they needed to improve on what it looked like. And maybe if there was an area for improvement, it was the feel and sound, and that was like 7% improvement on the material. I mean, I think that's good enough. Yeah, I mean, it was such a great product, and I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah, so I mean, just tag on that a little bit more. So if one of the SRIXON, they're known for their technology, they're known for their feel. One thing that they're not known for as much is marketing.
Yes.
And
a little under the radar.
This what was a successful iron comes into a next generation of irons, and it featured all the things that made last year's successful, but it featured a new material. I bet TaylorMade or Callaway would have banked on that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So much. So I think that's where I feel like SRIXON, oh man, like if they could have made the naming a little bit different, maybe make it look a little bit different, I think it would have caught more attention.
Probably would have. I agree on that. Yes. I mean, there's other companies like like Titleist. They have a new material, and then now it's like GT, completely new line, right? Like stuff like that. It's very good for marketing, right? Yeah. So I think if they did kind of did that, it would have been a greater outtake for the marketing.
Yeah, so all this to say, it is definitely an improvement from last year's, I think, as far as feel. But let's go ahead and give it another hit with the 7-iron here. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow, that was really good.
It feels so good.
Okay. All right, so we have the green set at 160, so you almost flew the green.
Yeah.
So I think one thing to note is 7-iron loft is at a 32 degrees.
32.
Instead of like the traditional 34.
It's a little stronger.
It's a little stronger. So if you're looking for a good feel and some added distance, this is definitely one of that availability. And another thing to note is the lie angle, stand-up lie angle, is also 62 degrees. So it's 1 degree flatter than TaylorMade, Titleist, or any of the so-called American brand irons. So that's one thing to note, but you don't have to worry about that here because we have the ability to adjust lie angles, change lofts, and as you order it, you can. This comes with the stock shaft is what there, Jay?
It's the Dynamic Gold 115 mid.
Yep.
And right now it's the S300.
Right. Yeah. So that comes as stock, which comes in stock in many of the irons currently. But you have if you like the traditional Modus on there that ZX7 Mark II was with, you can go with that. If you want to go with a little lighter shaft, that's also available here as well. What's a shot shape that you like to hit?
Me, I'm playing draws right now.
Draws, okay.
Yeah, just a little bit of a draw right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an assignment.
Okay.
Let's hit a fade.
A fade, okay.
Yeah, let's try to hit a fade.
Yeah.
Because a player who's looking into the ZXi7 irons would probably want to do a little bit of workability.
Right, the workability has to be there, right?
Yep.
And one of the best part about the SRIXON irons are that they're forged and that they're affordable. So they're, for a set of $700 cheaper than some of the other forged irons in market. So we would love for you to take advantage of a great value. But also, if you go to yesgolfshop.com and subscribe to our newsletter, you can get an instant 10% off coupon sent to your inbox right away. So if you are thinking about getting these SRIXON irons, we encourage you to subscribe to that newsletter and you can get that 10% coupon code. Thank you guys. Let's go now back to our video.
Do we get it?
It's fading.
Oh yeah, a little fading a little bit.
Yep.
That's good.
It's a little pull fade.
How was it from your perspective? Was it easy to?
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. Yeah.
Okay.
And thanks again to the minimal offset. I think that's what really defines the workability for the better players. That offset, if it's too much, then it's going to be really hard to try to fade the ball. You're going to feel like it's just going to shut.
Yeah.
But because it's very minimal, I think that's what really helps.
We've had around a little more Healy. Is that common to you, or are you always right on the dot right here?
I'm usually more outside on the toe. Yeah.
Okay. Anything, more outside on the toe.
I think that's probably why I play the draw. Is like it's a little more outside on the toe.
Yeah.
But if I did want to play a fade, I would try to get it a little more center.
Yeah. So this is obviously only 4 shots with the stock shaft. So that probably speaks to the variable in the impact positions.
Yeah.
But were you able, would you say feedback-wise, were you able to tell if you were able to hit it on the toe, maybe low on the head a little bit?
Yes, I actually could. So that last shot, I definitely felt like it was closer to the heel.
Okay.
It was a little lower as well.
Got it.
But for how maybe closer to the heel and how low it was, I think the flight came out much better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, compared to just a blade, for example. Yeah.
All right, one last thing. Let's give it a 120%.
120%.
Yeah, let's say, what's your, like with a 32-degree 7-iron, what would your carry distance be? Like if you're hitting just
a normal stock shot, I think I would say about 160.
160. Okay, so let's say we have 167-yard par 3.
Okay.
And there's a creek right in front of it.
I'll
if you
carry.
fall short,
I'll carry.
I'll carry.
All right.
Let's see it.
All right.
I want to see if this gives that enough oomph in the irons.
Okay. All right.
All right. Ooh. Straighter line. Did we get it? Did we get it? I think we got it.
Oh!
Wow.
Well,
wow.
not bad. Not bad. Not
That
bad,
is really
right?
good right there.
I think I carried the cream.
Carry is 162.
Did I
which
carry
is
the cream?
fine. I think
Right?
I
mean, I think I did
You
it.
got it on there.
Wasn't that bad?
That was really, really good, actually.
not
Okay, so
bad.
you're just couple feet away from a birdie putt. So I think that speaks to, I mean, that iron. It speaks to Jay, obviously,
man. I
but
love
speaks
these,
to the irons. Really good feel if you're looking for a good feel, really good value out of it.
Yeah.
Again, I can't recommend you enough about the importance of fitting when it comes to a level of irons like this, because we want to dial in those lie angles, lofts, and shafts for you. So thank you so much for joining us. We got a bag full of SRIXON and Cleveland irons.
Yeah.
So,
so excited for them.
we are very looking forward to, and including the Cleveland RTZ
New wedges, yeah.
New wedges. So
whole bag, yeah.
make sure to subscribe. Be one of our 1,000 subscribers as we start this new channel. We would love to be a channel that interacts with you in many, many ways. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in our next episode.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.